welcome to my channel, Distinctive Crochet. My name is Priscilla, and today we're going to be working on my Amigurumi Starshine Pattern. So I'm really excited to share this with you guys. So I just want to give you a breakdown on what we're going to be doing. So first of all, we'll be starting off in the top, and we'll just be working in continuous rounds. Then when we get to this point, we'll be doing some increases and decreases. And then as we get down to the bottom, we will be changing our color, and then we'll be working the bottom in rows. So we'll just be going back and forth in rows, and I'll show you guys more about that in the tutorial. So hang on for that. And then also once we get that part done, before we close this guy up, we're going to go ahead and give him a good stuff. Now, I didn't want to stuff the top too much. I just like how it kind of bends down like that. If you want just to give them a little cute extra look. And you do want to stuff these side points here though, and you do want to stuff the legs. However, it could be a little hard to close the legs up if you have it full of stuffing, so I suggest that you close up the first side, give them a good stuff, do a few stitches on the other side, and then give them another good stuff, and then close them up. But of course you have to put your eyes and your little smile first before you do that. So all that stuff will be in the tutorial coming up. So come along with me and let's make this guy happen. He's so cute. Alright guys, here we go.
For this tutorial, you will need at least 65 yards each of two different colors of worsted weight yarn. I will be using the DIY yarn by Lion brand in the color yellow and cream. Also, you will need at least 5 yards of black yarn for the facial features and fiber fill for the stuffing. For the tools we'll be using, we need a 4mm crochet hook, a pair of scissors, a yarn needle. You will need 3 stitch markers. I will be using a contrasting piece of yarn for one of mine, and then 2 paper clips. You will also need 16mm eyes, safety eyes with the backings. If you don't have that available, I will be showing you how to crochet your eyes for this toy later on in the tutorial. There will be a link below for the written pattern. Alright everyone, the first thing we're going to do is make an adjustable ring, and to do that we need to lay the yarn over our hand, and then we're going to separate 2 fingers out, wrap the yarn around, and then wrap again and cross over the first wrap. Then we're going to pick up our hook, flip our fingers over, insert the hook under the loop, and grab the working yarn and pull it through. Then we'll pinch all of that and let the fingers go out of the ring. Pick up your working yarn in your hand for your tension. Go ahead and snug it down a little bit. Chain 1, and then I like to stick my fingers into the ring, and then I'm going to go ahead and single crochet 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And I'm going to take my fingers out and then pull the tail to pull it closed. And then I'm going to grab a stitch marker, which is just a contrasting piece of yarn, lay it in between, and then I'll go ahead and begin my second round. I'm just going to put 2 single crochets into the very first stitch, which is an increase. So when I say 2, I'll be saying increase, and then I'll put 1 into the next stitch, and then increase into the next stitch, which means 2 single crochets in the same stitch. So then I'll put 1 in the next, and then increase into this stitch, and then single crochet in the last stitch. So this is a total of 9, and we'll be increasing at a rate of 3 stitches per round. So yep, there's 9. We started with 6 and now we have 9. So in our third round we'll end up with 12. We'll put increase, and then single crochet in the next two, increase, and then single crochet in the next two, increase, and then single crochet in the next two. So I'll flip my tail to the back, my stitch marker to the back, and then I'll go ahead and increase in the first stitch, and then single crochet in the next two, and then we'll increase into the next, and then one in each of the next two stitches, and then increase in the next, and then one single crochet in the next two stitches. And we'll just keep going in the same pattern until we reach 36. I'm going to bring my stitch marker forward, and then this time we'll increase and then single crochet in the next three, and then increase, single crochet in the next three, and then increase, and then single crochet in the last three. So here's my increase, and then I'll single crochet into the next three stitches, and then here's the next increase, and then single crochet into the next three stitches, and then here's my increase, and then single crochet in the next three stitches. Alright, so now just flip my stitch marker to the back, and then we're going to go ahead and increase, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets, increase, and then 4 single crochets, increase, and then 4 single crochets. We'll keep going all the way around until we get our 36 stitches. This round is considered round number 5, and you will have 18 stitches at the end of this round, and then I will go ahead and leave the instructions for the next rounds you need until you get to your 36 up on the screen. So please pause your video and check out those instructions until you get to the end of your 36 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and do mine off camera, and then I'll meet you guys back when I have my 36 stitches. Alright, so I made it back around. I'm on my last stitch, and I'll put that in there. I'll flip my stitch marker back over, and now I'm just going to go ahead and work the first 10 stitches. So just one single crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. There's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And so for the next 3 stitches, we're just going to go ahead and increase, which means we're just going to put two single crochets into each stitch. So here's 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next stitch. And now we're just going to go ahead and work the next 10 single crochets, putting 1 single crochet into each of the next 10 single crochets across. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're going to increase in the next 3. So we're going to put 2 single crochets in each stitch. Here's our first increase. Here's our second increase. And here's our third increase. That just means we're putting 2 stitches into 1. Now we're just going to work the last 10 single crochets with just 1 single crochet in each stitch. Here's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So flip that to the back, and now we're just going to work the next 10 single crochets, putting 1 single crochet into each stitch. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're going to go ahead and the next 6 stitches we will increase for each one. That's just putting 2 single crochets into 1. So there's our first increase. Here's our second increase. Here's our third. Here's our fourth increase. Here's our fifth. And here's our sixth increase. So that just means we're putting 2 stitches into 1. If you feel like I'm going too fast, please feel free to pause the video at any time. We're just going to have 12 stitches right here. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. We got our 12, and that's what it looks like there. Now we're just going to work the next 10. 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're just going to go ahead and increase in the next 6 stitches. So here's our first increase. There's a second. Here's our third. That increase just means we're putting 2 stitches into 1. Here's our fifth. And here is our sixth increase. So now we're just going to go ahead and check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, got all 12. And then we'll work the last 10, putting 1 single crochet into each of the next 10 stitches to end the round. So go ahead and put your last 10 stitches in to end the round, and then I will meet you back when I have mine done. So I'm back, and now that we did our increase round, we're going to go ahead and work 2 plain rounds of single crochet. So we're just going to put 1 single crochet into each stitch around for 2 rounds. But when we get to our increases, you want to make sure you're getting each single crochet and you're putting 1 single crochet in into each of those increased stitches. So just 1 into each of those stitches there. Make sure you don't miss any of them. Alright, so I'm just being very careful not to miss any stitches. Alright, so just keep going, putting 1 single crochet in each stitch around, being careful to make sure you put 1 in each of those increases, and then we'll complete this for 2 rounds, and then I'll meet you back when I'm done. Alright, so I made it back around. I just finished my 2 plain rounds. So here is our increase here, and then 1, 2 for my 2 plain rounds. Now we're just going to go ahead and do 10 single crochets for the first 10 stitches, 1 in each stitch. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Alright, so here are our increases. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to go ahead and decrease. We'll be going through the front loop only. So here's the front loop and here's the back loop, and we'll just go through the front loop only. So we're going to pick up the front loop, bring yarn over and pull up a loop. Then we'll go in the next stitch of the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's how we decrease. Pick up the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's how we'll keep doing it all the way over the next 12 stitches, and we'll have 6 decreases. So yarn over, pull up a loop through each of the next 2 stitches, and yarn over and pull through all 3. And here is number 6 for our last decrease, and then pull through all 3. So now we're just going to single crochet in the next 10 stitches, 1 single crochet into each of the next 10 stitches. Here's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And now we're just going to decrease on this side. So we'll just yarn over and pick up a loop, yarn over, pick up a loop, and yarn over and pull through 3, making sure we're in the front loops only. So we just pick up the front loop, yarn over, pull up a loop, and do the same thing to the next stitch, and yarn over and pull through all 3. Feel free to pause the video at any time if I'm going a little too fast. I just want to make sure the video isn't too long for you guys. But you're just doing the same thing over the next 12 stitches for a total of 6 decreases. So now we'll single crochet in the last 10 stitches, 1 single crochet in each of the next 10 single crochet to end the round. So I will meet you back when I have my 10 stitches. Alright, so I made it to the end of the round. So all we're going to do is single crochet around for 5 plain rounds. So we'll just keep going around and around for 5 rounds. 1 single crochet in each stitch. You should have a total of 42 stitches at this point, and then we'll just go ahead and do that for 5 rounds, and I'll meet you when I get back. Alright, so I made it back around. I have my 5 rows. There's our decrease round. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the decrease, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the plain rounds. So now all I'm going to do is just go ahead and finish my last stitch, and then I'll slip stitch on the other side of my stitch marker, and then we're going to cut the yarn and finish off. So I'll just pull that through to finish off. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and fold it so that there's 20 stitches in the front, 1 stitch on either side of the fold, and 20 stitches in the back. That'll give us our 42 stitches. We want to find 10 middle stitches in the back. So we're going to count over 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put a stitch marker. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Just count over 5 and then place your other stitch marker. Now you want to go ahead and make sure you have 10 stitches in between the stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So we have our 10 stitches, and now we're ready to go ahead and slip stitch our new color. We're going to slip stitch it in right next to the stitch of the stitch marker. And then go ahead and slip stitch that in to join. And then we're just going to go ahead and single crochet right in the same space, and then each stitch across to the other stitch marker. And you can take your stitch marker off for that side, and then just go ahead and keep working single crochets until you get to the other stitch marker. So we're only putting 1 single crochet in each stitch across until we get to our other stitch marker, and then we can go ahead and remove that stitch marker. And so now we'll just go ahead and chain up 1, and then we'll turn, and then we're going to single crochet in that very first stitch and in each stitch across. And then these are just short rows that we're working back and forth, and we'll be picking up stitches as we go. So I'm at my last stitch here, and now we're going to go ahead and pick up 2 stitches for this side. So all we need to do is put 1 single crochet in each stitch. We'll turn and chain 1. we'll single crochet in the very first stitch, and then we will also single crochet in each stitch across. And this just helps us to build up our fabric to close up the bottom as we're working along. So I'm coming up on my last couple stitches, so now we're going to go ahead and pick up 2 more stitches just by putting 1 single crochet into each of those 2 stitches. We will turn and chain 1 and single crochet into the very first and each stitch across until you get to the other side. And this is just building up the fabric that will end up closing the bottom. It will also curve around the sides and become the points of the bottom of the starshine. Alright, so now we're going to pick up the next 2, putting a single crochet into each one. We'll turn and chain 1. We'll single crochet into the same stitch and to each stitch across. And we'll just keep working back and forth just like this in the same way, all the way until we get to the front. So I'm just going to finish up this part here, and then I'll probably finish off camera. Alright, so now I just need to pick up the next 2, putting a single crochet into each one. And then I'll turn and chain 1 and single crochet into the first stitch, and then each stitch across, and just keep going back and forth in rows until we make it all the way into the front. It'll just fold over and close up the bottom. And when we get to the middle front for the last few stitches, I'll come back and I'll show you what to do next. So it's just keep going back and forth in rows, picking up 2 stitches, putting a single crochet, and you do your chain 1 and turn and go back, and then you'll pick up 2 stitches, turn and come back, and I'll meet you back when we get to the front. Alright, so as you can see, I made it back around with just a couple stitches left, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish these last few stitches for this row, and then I'll show you how to pick up the last 2 stitches to close it up. All we were doing was just going back and forth in the short rows just to close up the bottom. So here's my last stitch, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up those 2 with a single crochet. And now to close it up, all we have to do is slip stitch right at the top of this one. Alright, and that's pretty much all you have to do to close that up. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we have done. Alright, so now you can see how it's curved around and made the 2 bottom points. Alright, so now what we're going to do is put in our eyes and stuffing. And I'm using the 16mm eyes, and I actually purchased from the Best Toy Home on Amazon, and I'll see if I can find the link and I'll link it down below. I'm not affiliated with this company or Amazon at all. I just wanted to go ahead and put it down there so you would know where I had purchased mine from in case you weren't sure where to get some. But if you don't have any safety eyes, or if you don't want to use them, don't worry about it, because I'll go ahead and show you how to crochet your own eyes and also how to stitch them on. So I'll just go ahead and show you a little bit of how I'm going to put the stuffing in. And I'm just using the regular polyfill, fiber fill. So I don't want to go too far in the top because I like how it turns down a little bit like that. But I do want to stuff in the sides where the points are and also in the back so that it is nice and full. And you just got to take your time with it and keep grabbing and stuffing as you go and just keep playing with it to see how it looks. Just keep checking and putting a little bit more in at a time until it becomes the way that you like it to be. You can squeeze and smush. And then just push it in and spread it out. You definitely want to take your time on this, guys, because this is what really makes it. It gives it its shape and its look. So you really want to take your time when you're doing this part. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you where I would put my eyes at. So here is the increases. So I'm just going to count over 3. So here's 1. Here's 1, 2, 3. And I'll just put that one in. And then I'll grab the other eye and do the other side. 1, 2, 3. And then I'll put that one in. And just take a look at it and see if you like it. And if you like it, you can go ahead and put your backings on. So these are my backings. But for right now, I'm going to show you how to do the crochet. So here's what we're going to do for the crochet eyes. We're going to start off with an adjustable ring and wrap it around, and then we'll cross it over. We'll flip it to the back and use our crochet hook to grab the working yarn through the loop. We'll pinch all of that and drop that down. We'll pick up our working yarn, chain 1. Hold on, my yarn split. Okay, chain 1. And now we'll go ahead and stick our fingers through the loop and work 6 single crochet, I'm sorry, not 6, 3 single crochets into the ring. So that's all we need to do for the eyes, is just 3, and then we'll close it up by pulling on the tail, and then we'll go ahead and slip stitch to the other side to form a circle. It's a little fiddly, but just take your time and get it through. Just go ahead and slip stitch, and then I already have my yarn cut, so now I'm going to go ahead and finish off by pulling the yarn through. So that'll be the eye, and it's ready to stitch on. So find where you like it to go, and you can just stitch it on. So now you got to do is make the other one for the other side. So I'll be back when I get it done. Alright, so I made it back, and you can see I have both eyes done, and I added the little white for the eyes shine. So I'll show you how I did that part. I just grabbed some white yarn and I cut it about 10 to 12 inches long. You want to have it nice and long so that you can tie it on the inside where it won't pull out. So just go ahead and thread your needle. And now all you have to do is just go through the inside and go towards the top of the eye, and be very careful when you poke that through. Alright, and pull it up through, but make sure you leave a nice tail so that you'll be able to tie it, and then go right back down again on the inside and pull that through. And then you want to go ahead and do it one more time, really close to where you were. So go up and then bring it back down right on top of where it was, and then pull it through. Okay, and now you can go ahead and take the needle off and then find both of your tails and then go ahead and tie it off. Oh, this yarn got pulled through when I sewed through the yarn and it split. It's a little tangly. I think I might have to cut that part. Yeah, let me cut this part right here. Okay, so now I can go ahead and tie that off. Okay, just like that. And now I gotta pick up the black strings from my eye, and I'm gonna go ahead and tie that off from my eye so that it doesn't come loose. Oh, and it looks like I pulled that white string just a little bit too tight. So make sure you guys don't pull yours too tight. So just stuff your tails on the inside. And now I'm gonna do the mouth. So I'm just gonna grab some more black yarn, about 10 to 12 inches in length for the smile. And I'll thread it through my needle. Alright, so now I'm gonna go right up close to the eyes to make it really cute. And now just come up through the yarn and try to split the yarn a little bit. And I'll come down on like a diagonal and then go back up. So I'm just gonna go through and split the yarn and then go down and pull it through. And then I'll go ahead and try to split the yarn. Split it just a little bit. That way it'll connect the smile a little more smoothly. And then I'm gonna find the line that I wanna go. So I'll go down in here, just going in smaller sections before I finish off the smile so it doesn't straighten out on its own. So now I'm going to split the yarn a little bit again to connect it. And now I'm going to go ahead and finish off that diagonal line going back up. So I'll pull it there and bring it down and through. Alright, that looks pretty good. You guys can play with yours. If it doesn't come out right the first time, go ahead and take it out and try it again. But I'm pretty happy with mine. So now I'm just going to take off my needle and tie it off. but you don't make sure you guys don't pull it too tight or it'll pull in the smile, kind of like I did on my eye. So I'll just go ahead and stuff the tails in. So there's the face, and now I'm going to go back and show you how to close it up in the next clip. So there you have it, your crocheted eyes and smile, and now I'll show you how to close that up, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, and I made it back, so now I'm just coming back to show you how to close it up. I'm not really finished stuffing this one yet, or positioning the eyes on this one. I'll probably play with it a little bit more on camera, off camera, but I just want to go ahead and show you guys how to close it off. And once I get everything just right off camera, I'll come back and show you what it looks like. But if you're using safety eyes, you definitely want to make sure you put your safety eyes and your smile on before you close it up. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pinch it closed and try to find the middle. I'm just going to eyeball mine, but if you feel more comfortable, you can go ahead and count your stitches and just make sure it's even on either side. You want to push your yarn back behind the needle, and then you're going to go ahead and slip stitch it across, and then you're just going to go through one stitch on either side so that you're going through both sides of the fabric and making sure you're slip stitching through both sides to close it up. Just match up those stitches, go through the front and the back of the stitches, and then that's just how you close it up. So you're just slip stitching across, making sure you're going through both sides all the way. And then once you have all of yours done, you can go ahead and pull up some yarn so that you can cut and fasten off. You can also add a little bit more stuffing to the legs until you get it how you like it. So then you're just going to cut your yarn, and then you'll slip stitch right in the middle, and then you'll go ahead and close it up using the slip stitch all the way across. And you can add some more stuffing before you close it completely until you get it how you like. So like I said guys, I'm just going to go ahead and finish playing with mine off camera until I get it just how I like it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, everyone, and here he is, the finished Starshine. He's got his eyes and mouth and a good stuffing. So now he is super cute and ready to go. He makes great gifts, and he can just sit around and make you smile. So make sure you guys are making plenty of this little guy. You could even try it in maybe a chunkier yarn or even a thinner yarn. Use your imaginations, guys. He will also be great in different colors, and don't be afraid to add different facial features either. Really take this and make it your own. I really appreciate you all coming along on this tutorial with me. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And thank you again for watching.